Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to another Knicks Media live stream. Today, I want to talk about the Knicks that are on a 2-game winning streak. We got fine play from our young guns, such as RJ Barrett, that has been balling out the last 4 games. Quickly has some crazy potential. The Knicks are losing 5 straight games, and we're like, wow, we were 5-3. I had CK2K here on my channel, as you guys know, and me and CK were just going off saying the Knicks are 5-3. We said it over and over again because it was so exciting, and then the Knicks lose 5 straight games. And then, so that's funny. But then the Knicks rebound and they defeat the Boston Celtics, as we know, by 30 points, which was ridiculous. And then we beat the Orlando Magic yesterday, which was an ugly game, but a victory is a victory. So in this stream, I just want to talk about everything that's going around about the New York Knicks, and the upcoming West Coast trip is going to be something crazy. We're going up against the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry is red hot. And then we're going up against the Trailblazers, the Kings, and the Jazz. So those are the 4 teams that we're going up against on the West Coast. And it's going to be a really tough time for the Knicks. But I got confidence in my guys. I got confidence that we'll at least win 2 of the 4. Am I right? Is that too much to ask for? But welcome into the stream, everybody. If you guys are not subscribed to Knicks Media, make sure you do so. I go live here on this channel a bunch, and I make a bunch of content about the New York Knicks. And if you guys are enjoying the stream or you're watching it afterwards, please make sure you thumbs it up. With that being said, let's jump right into it. So what do we talk about first? I guess we should talk about Immanuel Quickley. What up, Ninja Dude? Right here. Quickley, the steal of the draft. Absolutely. Immanuel Quickley is showing up. And preseason, we all were like, whoa, Quickley has a lot of potential. And then the beginning of the year, he got hurt. We're like, Quickley, he's injured. We're not going to be able to see him. And then he's out for like 5 or so games. He comes back. He looks good. And then he goes into funk. Quickley, for like 3 or 4 games, did not look good. He was putting up crazy shots, missing them, shooting totally inefficiently. And then the past couple of games, Quickley coming off the bench looks like a star in the making. And I'm not even just saying that. Quickley is just becoming our franchise point guard before our very eyes. I don't want to label him as our franchise point guard, but the tangibles that he's been showing, he had a career high game against the Celtics, I believe, 23 points, and he's shooting the ball really efficiently from beyond the arc. He's pulling up from deep, and he's like the floater god. I don't understand how he has such an efficient floater game. He drives in, he like puts it up from mid-range, but he just floats it in, and it's beautiful. Immanuel Quickley is also extremely energetic on the defensive end. He keeps his head up. He maintains his dribble. He's finding Obi Toppin down low. And it's just exciting, man. It's so exciting to see that we have Immanuel Quickley playing this well. It's just so awesome. Obi Toppin has been balling out as well. Yesterday we didn't get a good sample size of Quickley or Obi because they did not get a lot of minutes because Thibodeau left the starters in for a long time. But Obi Toppin had a really good game against the Celtics. He had 12 points and 5 rebounds, I believe, hit 2 3-pointers, had a really nice dunk. So it's good to see Obi healthy out there. Him and Immanuel Quickley look like they're going to have a lot of good highlights together. All of Obi's buckets, I believe, came from Quickley assists. So it's awesome to see that Immanuel Quickley is becoming a steal of the draft and Obi Toppin is getting more comfortable and in more rhythm. But let's talk about my man, RJ Barrett. Why not? Let's talk about my man real quick. Look at this, guys. Pulling it up right now. RJ Barrett over the last 4 games. Look at these stats. Where is everybody? I want to call you guys out. I had a lot of people in on this on my channel and a bunch of Knicks channels across YouTube or even on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you follow Knicks content, you'll see people calling RJ Barrett a bust. And when he was struggling, you guys know me. If you watch my channel, I never gave up on RJ. I'm never like saying like, oh my God, guys, he's struggling. He's a bust. We should trade him. We should move on from him. I was like, all right, RJ's in a funk. He's going to get out of it. RJ has that mentality to push through it. He's mentally more tough than a lot of players in the NBA at the age of 20. I'm not worried one bit about RJ. Everybody goes through a little rough patch, and I'm not worried. And here we go. His last 4 games, shooting extremely efficient from the field. He's averaging near 20 points per game. He had 2 double-doubles. He's shooting over 45%. He's shooting like, I don't know, they don't have the free throw percentage on here, but he's shooting like 91% from the free throw line. So I don't understand how people can call him a bust. And listen, I'm not going to overhype RJ just because he had 4 good straight games. I'm not saying he's becoming a superstar. That's not what I'm saying. But for you to call a second-year player that's 20 years old a bust after a little rough patch, I'm sorry, you gotta be more patient with RJ and just our players in general. There's people already writing off Obi Toppin. I don't understand. I guess some fans are just really impatient and they see a couple of games of them looking really lost out there, so they just label them like, all right, that guy's bad. Move on, move on, move on. I don't understand that mindset. You got to give him some time. Look at Kevin Knox, for example. Kevin Knox, his rookie year, he showed a little glimpse of promise. Sophomore season, looked terrible. He looked like he was lost in his second year. And year 3, Kevin Knox looks like a different player. He's shooting over 40% from downtown, and he looks way more confident out there. So you cannot write off players after just 1 or 2 years. Sometimes it takes a long time for Knicks players, not Knicks players, just NBA players to get into a rhythm. And this does not mean that RJ is not going to have bad nights. RJ is going to have another a stretch of games this season where he's going to look bad. I'll tell you guys right now. I'm going to warn you guys. Warning. RJ Barrett is going to have another game or 2 or 5 or 10 where he shoots 1 for 15, 2 for 15. Is that concerning? Yeah, of course. But you need to go through those rough patches in order to, build on the dark stages of your career where you can just work on your weaknesses. You know what I mean? RJ Barrett learned from that weak stretch where he was just not hitting 3-pointers, not finishing at the rim. He learned from it. And look, here he is today, looking good. He's cooking. He's clutch. He's he's playing really good defense. I know RJ's not been doing good consistently all year shooting the ball, but he's been really good throughout the entire season playing defense, and that's really awesome. Another thing about this Knicks team that we got to give him credit for is we are first in defense in the entire NBA. First in opponents' points per game. First in opponents' field goal percentage. First in opponents' three-point percentage. So the New York Knicks defense under Coach Tom Thibodeau is something else. We got to give him credit. Tip your cat to Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff because they are coaching the hell out of these guys. But listen, I just am excited that the Knicks got back on track because it was a little concerning, and we had to really ground ourselves and realize that this Knicks team is not a team that's going to the finals. We're not going to be a top 5 seed in the East. Just because we're 5-3 doesn't mean that we're going to shock the world, right? But at the same time, this Knicks team, what they're going to do, they're going to have some bumps in the road. We're going to lose some games where we should win. We're also going to win some games when we should lose. For example, the Boston Celtics. That was a game where I was expecting a loss. We blew them out by 30. So this is a team where we're building a winning culture. You cannot expect them to go out there and win every night. You cannot expect their young guys to go out there and perform every single night. It's going to be up and downs. And it's just an exciting time to be a Knicks fan. This is the first time in a long time where I'm excited to be, watching these games. We got a lot of young potential. We got a good coaching staff. We got a winning instilled culture that's trying to brew here in New York. So I see that we got 40 people in the stream. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. If you guys are new to the stream, make sure you thumbs up the stream so we get as many Knicks fans in here as possible. I want to go live real quick because we're on a two-day break in between the West Coast trip. We just finished up the game against the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. Next up, we're going out west. We're versing the Golden State Warriors, and then we're versing the Sacramento Kings, and then the Portland Trailblazers, I believe, and then we finish off the road trip with the Utah Jazz, who we beat earlier at home at the Garden. So hopefully we can split the series. That's my mindset. Can we win 2 out of 4 games on the West Coast? That's a victory in my eyes because it's not easy to win on the West Coast, especially if you're going up against a red-hot Steph Curry and the Trailblazers, who are a good team. The Kings, they're 5-9, but they're still a good squad. So we need to keep it up. We need to keep up the momentum. So anybody have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer your guys' questions while we're live right now. Just want to go live, talk about the New York Knicks, quick Q&A, and let's go. Let's do it. Thoughts on Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank? Dennis Smith Jr. has been getting some run in garbage time as of late. And guys, he looks lost out there, man. I don't know. Frank Ntilikina, I'm way more high on than Dennis Smith Jr. I'll tell you guys that much. When Frank gets healthy, I definitely think he should be part of the rotation just in terms of his defense, and he looked like he was getting in rhythm, shooting the ball from beyond the arc, and then unfortunately he went down with an injury. I'd much rather have Frank in the rotation than Elfrid Payton. I'll tell you guys that much. I'd rather have Quickley starting and Frank off the bench and then Payton just not on the team. But that's unrealistic because Elfrid Payton is going to be on the team throughout the year. Tom Thibodeau likes playing him because he's a veteran and he does some things that are good, but most of the times he drives me and a lot of Knicks fans insane. So I don't know. Dennis Smith Jr. looks like his time as a Knick is over. He does not really have any potential to me personally. Frank Ntilikina, though, he showed a lot of potential when he was healthy. So hopefully he can get healthy out there, but we'll do it. RJ has gotten his groove back after speaking with his godfather before that Brooklyn game. Nash has the RJ juju. That's funny, man. I love it. I love it, man. Steve Nash has always said in the press conference after the Nets-Knicks game, he said, yeah, the thing about RJ Barrett is his mentality separates him from most young players in the NBA. He does not let the good games get to him or the bad games. Like, you look at RJ Barrett on the court or after a game, you cannot tell if he went 0 for 20 or 20 for 20. You know what I mean? He never gets too high. He never gets too low. And that's what makes his mentality so important to the point where I'm like, okay, this guy is going to be a really good NBA player for a long time because he has the work ethic. He has the confidence to be great. That's what I'm talking about. Who's more likely the better player, Obi Toppin or Mitchell Robinson? Well, I would have to say Mitchell Robinson just because we haven't seen a lot of Obi Toppin, but we've seen what Mitchell Robinson can do. Mitch is like the reason why we're so good at defense. He has been locking down the paint consistently, and he has been just a workforce down low. We got to give him a lot of credit because he's gritty. He is gritty. He's battling through injuries. He's a contused heel. He's like a sprained knee. He's got a lot of injuries on his lower body. He's limping around and still playing through the injuries and playing good basketball. He's protecting the rim. He's second in the league in offensive rebounds. He's putting it up, and he's just a really dominant force on the defensive end. So this is definitely Mitchell Robinson. If we start IQ, the ball will be in his hands less. Maybe. I love Emmanuel Quickley off the bench because I like him with his second unit. I like him with Kevin Knox and Obi Toppin, but I just want him to get more minutes. It's not about who starts the game. It's about who finishes the game. So just because Elfrid Payton starts doesn't mean that he's going to finish every game, even though yesterday he did finish because, I don't know, Thibodeau did not want the young guys out there in the final minutes. We'll see. What's going on, Kelvin? What's up, Richie? You speak, we listen. Definitely Mitch, when he starts shooting jumpers, he's going to be a beast. Yeah, I hope he can shoot jumpers, Kelvin. I wish. He always says it on social media. He's like, all right, time to do it. I'm going to start shooting, and he never does it, but we'll see. We'll see. I wish. Dennis Smith Jr. will be better on a different team. He looks dead inside. I feel like he lost his confidence because he gets garbage time minutes. He just trade him to the Magic or something so we can get minutes. Yeah, man, I think that Dennis Smith Jr., his soul is just defeated. I agree. He does not look like he has any confidence in himself. When he's in garbage time, he shows no promise. He looks really non-energetic. There's no life to him when he's out there. Who knows? Quickly, RJ, Knox on the floor, Mitch and Randall. If Smith Jr. play like last game or even better, he can move the unit off bench. Maybe. This is the starting lineup I would love to see. Emmanuel Quickley, RJ, Knox, and Mitch and Randall. That's what every Knicks fan would want to see because Reggie, he's inconsistent, but you got to give Reggie a lot of credit. He's really good at defense. He's a really big reason why we're first in the league in defense because he locks down the perimeter. Mitch locks it down low. So I think that's why Thibodeau loves Reggie in the starting lineup and Knox off the bench, but Knox has been lights out from beyond the arc, so he needs a lot of minutes as well. If the Knicks hired Nash over Thibs, do you think RJ would explode into an all-star quicker or have some issues? Also, hope your day is well. Thank you, man. Hope your day is well, too. This is a good question. I don't know. It's hypothetical. Steve Nash would definitely put a lot of time into RJ Barrett because that's his godson, and he's been with him since he was born. But I don't know. I think Tom Thibodeau is putting RJ in the best situation to succeed. He's on the floor a lot. The only thing I wish they would change is who he's on the floor with. I just don't like Elfrid Payton and RJ Barrett on the floor together. Last game, we saw RJ cut to the basket and quickly found him, and he gave him the ball, and it was a nice, easy layup. I don't think we ever seen Elfrid Payton find RJ Barrett cutting. So we need Quickley out there with RJ. We need it. Quickley is good at floaters. He should take floaters or set lobs to Mitchell for dimes. Yeah, man. Emmanuel Quickley is something else with these floaters. I don't understand how he's so good at it. And I wish he would shoot the mid-range jump shot. I wish he could because he's either shooting beyond the arc, like a normal jump shot, or he's just putting up a floater from like 15 feet away. And you're like, whoa. And then it goes in. You're like, holy crap. IQ's a beast, and he always keeps his head up. He always maintains his dribble. And Immanuel Quickley is just a star in the making. I mean, I don't want to say he's a star in the making, but he has star potential written all over him. I love his confidence. I love his work ethic. There's a lot about Immanuel Quickley that Knicks fans should love. A lot about him. I see that we got around 57 people in the stream. If you guys are new to the stream, you guys are enjoying my New York Knicks Q&A, Knicks talk, whatever you want to call it, please make sure you smash that like button. We have around 23 likes. Let's see if we can get this up to 30 likes. Smash that like button if you're enjoying, guys. We greatly appreciate it. Kelvin says, Knox's defense has been much better this year. He's showing effort, and he's starting to believe in himself. Yeah, Kelvin, that's exactly what we needed from Kevin Knox. We need him to put in effort on the defensive end and instill confidence in himself. That is exactly what's happening, and that's all about the coaching staff, putting him in the right situations to succeed. You see when he shoots the ball beyond the arc, it goes in almost every time, and he's a really efficient shooter now. He's shooting over 40%. Hopefully he can keep it up. What do you think about Kevin Porter Jr.? You know, I like what the Knicks are doing right now culture-wise. I don't really think it's a good idea to trade for somebody that had an outbreak in the locker room in Cleveland. I think that we should keep with what we're doing now. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of bringing in somebody and ruin up the culture we got brewing here. RJ camps around the corner. That is not his game. He should be playing from the top of the key. Yeah, man, RJ does camp in the corner. He does hit some threes here and there from there, but definitely shooting way, he's not a sharpshooter. I think over time he's going to become a better three-point shooter just because you see what he did with his free throws. His free throw shooting's good, and you know that he worked on that all off season. I think his three-point jump shot will come, but you're right. His game is not – he should not be a spot-up shooter in the corner. He should definitely get the ball, run the pick and roll, size people up, post people up, and use his body as a strength of his. He loves bullying people. He's a bully, and that's what he should do. RJ finding out what works in the NBA. Now we just need time, and he will get better. The shot will eventually fall when he finds his rhythm. Facts, man. I'm not worried about RJ one bit. Look at these stats right here. Here are the last 4 games. He's shooting efficiently. He's putting up consistent numbers, 3 assists per game. He had a double-double back-to-back time. I mean, he's just a triple-double waiting to happen. I'm waiting for that triple-double. It's going to happen this year. I believe it. But listen, RJ Barrett is just a guy that does everything. He's not a scorer. He's not he's not labeled as a one-dimensional piece. He's an all-around basketball player. He plays really good defense. He steals the ball efficiently. He can drive to the rim. He can shoot from mid-range. He's not consistent from beyond the arc, but he's shooting his free throws well. So I think the RJ Barrett, the sky's the limit for him, man. Only 30 likes. Come on, guys. Listen to the best Knicks breakdown on YouTube. Hit that like button for my guy. Kelvin, you're my man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I low-key got pissed when RJ was in a groove yesterday and then Peyton didn't give him the ball for 5 straight possessions. Oh, man, you're going to get me so upset because I know exactly what you're talking about. Elfrid Payton on the floor with RJ, it just doesn't work. I don't know why. Peyton just doesn't want to give him the ball. It's either Elfrid Payton dribbles the clock out and he drives to the rim and puts up a crazy layup and he either goes in or doesn't, or he gives it to Randall in the post. He never wants to give it to RJ. Don't ask why. I don't know. RJ will eventually be a taller version of James Harden. If that's the case, I mean, that's an MVP that you're comparing him to. I don't know if he could become a James Harden in terms of his crazy ball handling and step back jumpers, but we'll see. We'll see. What's your updated prediction after the 7-8 record? So yeah, I mean, if you guys told me before the season that we're going to start 7-8 in our first 15 games, I would be like, what? That's really good. I think this team could be around 500, probably below 500. What's a 500 season? Like, what is that? 36-36. That's an 82 season game. But I think we're going to finish like 3 games under 500. And that might be a playoff team. You never know, especially with the 10 seed. So that's my prediction, like a 3 games under 500. Nash has the RJ Juju. Yeah, man. We got to keep versing the net so Steve Nash can keep talking to him. Randall should work on his ball handle most of the time. He does fancy dribble moves, but turn the ball over. Yeah, RJ, not RJ, excuse me. Randall had his worst game yesterday shooting the ball wise, but then you look at the numbers and he just filled the stat sheet. 22 points, 17 boards, but he shot 5 of 19, so that's really bad. But we got the dub. Julius Randle came up in the clutch. He got a bucket when we needed him the most. And you're right, he does got to work on his ball handle. He's running the point forward. He leads the team in assists, and he's been balling out, man. You can't expect Julius to be great every single game, but he's definitely been a surprise this year, which is awesome. The Knicks hopefully can win the next 2 out of the West Coast road games. Facts. I said that we should look for the Knicks to win at least 2 of the 4. We need to split the series on the road. We're versing the Warriors, the Jazz, the Trailblazers, and the Kings. If we can beat 2 of them, that's a successful road trip. If we win 3, then we're going to the finals. I'm just kidding. RJ's more like D Wade. Facts, Joshua. This is who I compared him to all the time. A lot of people disagree when I say I think he's a D Wade type of player, but that's just my opinion. I don't think he's going to be the next D Wade. That's not what I mean when I say it. I just think that he has a very similar play style to D Wade. D Wade was never the sharpshooter from beyond the arc. He was a post-up guy, drove to the rim, finished through contact, mid-range jump shots, played good defense, high flyer, athletic. That's my kind of feeling of him. I know people don't agree, but that's okay. We're all entitled to our own opinions. Is Alec Burks playing next game? I sure hope so. He's close to return. I think he'll be back on the West Coast. I don't know if he'll be against the Warriors, but he'll definitely be back, I think, in the next 4 games. I think so. I told you guys when I first saw Mitchell, he was the next Bill Russell. Feed him more when he's down low. And I also said that this young Knicks fan are like the great Celtics championship run game. Yeah, man. I mean, Mitchell Robinson's potential is through the roof. He is through the roof, and I think that we're going to be really good with Mitch. He's the reason why we are the number 1 ranked defense. He's the reason why. He's not the only reason, but Tom Thibodeau is the reason. But Mitchell Robinson is the anchor of this defense. Keep it up, Mitch. Keep it up, Mitch. I see that we got over 100 people in the stream today. Thank you guys so much. If you guys are new to the stream and you guys did not hit that thumbs up button, make sure you do so. I would greatly appreciate that. We get as many Knicks fans in here as possible. Let's do this thing. Let's go Knicks. What happened to Miles Powell? We waived him before the season. He hasn't been on the team all year. I think RJ will end the season averaging 23 points. That's possible. He needs to get more consistent. I think RJ is going to have a roller coaster year. I think that he's going to go through another rough patch where he shoots really inefficiently for a big stretch of games. And then we're going to hear from Knicks fans, see, he's a bust. Oh, RJ sucks. Look at him. And I'm going to be like, bro, he's 20 years old. He's allowed to go through rough patches. This is going to happen. Not every single young talent is going to be consistently great. Like, are you kidding me? Like, look at these stats right here in his last 4 games. This tells you that his potential, does it not? I don't know what to tell those guys, but it's all right. We all entitled to our own opinion. Am I right? This team is starting to come together. Fans have to take the good with the bad. Facts, man. I mean, when it was a 5-game losing streak, we got right back to the negativity, depression aspect. Like, oh my God, this Knicks team is back to where it was 3 years ago. We're terrible. We're not what we thought we were. But listen, this is a young team. You can't expect them to win every single game. It's even crazy that we were 5-3 to start the year. I don't know how that's possible, but we were. We beat a lot of good teams, right? That should give you guys a lot of confidence for this season. We're going to lose to teams that we should beat, such as the Cavs. We should have beat that team. Such as the Hornets. We should have beat the Hornets. The Thunder. We should have beat the Thunder. But we're also beating teams we shouldn't beat. The Celtics. I don't think we should have beat the Celtics. The Bucks. The Pacers. The Jazz. Like, we're beating good teams. Like, we're going to have a really up and down season. It's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a fun season for the Knicks, and I predict that they're going to make the play-in tournament at least with the pace that they're going on right now. Let's talk about Obi Toppin real quick. What are your guys' thoughts of Obi? I love that Obi Toppin is finally playing, at least. You know, we didn't get to see a good sample size of him yesterday because he only played like 8 minutes or so. But I love what I saw from him against the Celtics. He's shooting the ball. He had 2 3-pointers, 3 dunks, quickly finds them really easily. And I'm excited. I think that he needs more minutes out there. Now that everybody's getting healthy, Thibodeau's finally letting these guys have a 10-man rotation. And it's giving Julius and RJ a little extra breathing room because it was just so annoying to watch all the like RJ and Randall get all the minutes. You feel like they're so fatigued out there. And again, Obi Toppin, he played 3 total games, 4 in his NBA career. We cannot write off Obi Toppin as a bust yet. I'm not saying I don't think he's a bust, but I don't understand the whole mindset of you look at a player play 5 games in the NBA and you're just immediately come to a conclusion that he's bad. I mean, give him time at least. Like, let him go through a year and then evaluate him. Please. I beg of you guys. Toppin will need a good point guard to be effective. Payton, Obi doesn't work because Obi will be forcing to shoot threes. I agree. Obi Toppin is definitely going to be dependent on a good point guard play. He's one of those guys that's going to be needed to get fed the ball when he cuts. Immanuel Quickley is a perfect guy for him. Elfrid Payton's not. Whenever Obi cuts, it seems like Immanuel Quickley throws up the lob. He gives him a bounce pass. He dishes it to him, and he's going to finish at the rim. Obi is a guy that needs a point guard, and you're completely correct. That is very true. I totally agree. I can't even speak. I totally agree. We having letdowns against teams that we should beat because we are still in shock from beating some good teams. Facts, Kelvin. Absolutely, man. That Quickley Toppin chemistry could be crazy. I know, man. That could be the future of this Knicks team. I'm telling you guys, our 2 first-round picks, they're low-key, I don't want to call them the face of the team, but personality-wise, if you guys watched the MLK game yesterday, those 2 came out there and gave a speech for Martin Luther King Jr., which is absolutely amazing that our 2 young rookies were the ones to speak to. There was no crowd, obviously, but they were speaking to us. They also led the happy birthday chant to Tom Thibodeau. So it's good to see our rookies becoming the leader in the locker room. They have really good, infectious personalities. You see all the videos that the Knicks social media team is putting out there. Obi Toppin is always on the camera like, Knicks tape, we're doing good. We're going to be stacking these wins. Like, all these things. Like, Obi Toppin's a great personality, and then Immanuel Quickley as well. So I love these 2 guys. I feel like they're going to have bright futures here for the Knicks. And those are the 2 first guys that Leon Rose was part of the draft. So you know they're going to be part of the culture we're trying to build here. We go 3-1 on road trip. We lose to the Kings. If that's the case, I mean, if we lose to the Kings and beat the Warriors, Trailblazers, and the Jazz, that is very Knicks-like. I'm down to do it. Thoughts on Obi? Yeah, I gave my little thoughts on Obi before, but I think he's going to be a guy for the Knicks that's just going to be really his personality is going to be very infectious for us Knicks fans. We're going to really want to root for him. He's such a likable guy. He's hyped up on the bench. When he's on the court, he looks like he loves spotting up for 3, and he loves driving to the rim. He's going to be a 2-way scorer. I need to see more of him defensively. I like his effort, but he definitely has some stiff hips, and his perimeter, he doesn't really have that lateral quickness you want, but the sky's the limit for him. I think he's going to be fine. He's going to be a fan favorite for a long time. Him and Immanuel Quickley, I do believe. Do you think Frank will get minutes in the rotation, maybe 15, 20? He was solid in limited minutes before the injury. You see, the one thing about Frank is I don't know where he fits in the rotation unless there's an injury. I'm a big Frank believer. I think that he showed a lot of tremendous talent and potential when he was playing this year, and unfortunately he went down with an injury. But knowing Tom Thibodeau, he's not somebody to play a 12-man rotation. He's only, at most, the most he's going to get is 10 people playing in one game. And we have our 2 point guards right now in Immanuel Quickley and, unfortunately, Elfrid Payton. I'd much rather it to be Frank than Elfrid Payton because the reason why Payton's out there, he plays defense and he can drive to the rim. Frank, he plays better defense than Elfrid, but I don't know if Frank has the point guard mentality yet. I don't really think he can run the offense, but I just hope he gets minutes because I love his confidence. He had that game where he had, 4 3-pointers, and it was wild. I was like, oh, my God, Frank Ntilikina. But I think he's going to get minutes, man. Thoughts on Knox? Kevin Knox, man. Kevin Knox has been shooting the ball lights out from beyond the arc. His 3-point jump shot, he's shooting 40% from 3. He's getting more aggressive. You can tell the reason why he's doing this, and it's simple, guys. It's confidence. He's shooting in rhythm. He gets the ball. If for those guys that play 2K, he has the Hall of Fame catch and shoot badge on because he is lights out when people find him. And even if he's contested, he had a shot. It was like on the top of the key. he touched the ball and he just launches it. Somebody's in his face and he just drills a three-pointer. Looked like Kevin Durant. I'm like, oh my God, Kevin Knox, please keep shooting, man. Keep shooting. Let's see it. When is Taj Gibson going to play? I think Taj is only going to play if we have injuries. I think we're set on our rotation right now with Nerlens and Mitch, and then Obi and Randall. I think they brought him in to be that locker room presence, the leader of men, that, culture guy that can just rally the guys together. And he's a guy that a lot of people can lean on to talk about the Tom Thibodeau system, because he's been in it on two different teams, for the Chicago Bulls and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't think he's going to get a lot of playing time unless there's injuries. That's my opinion. Obi is anxious to be great. I love that drive. You can see that he's still nervous and look lost sometimes, but he'll come along. Facts, man. He's still getting his feet wet. He's still trying to find his rhythm in the league. You can't expect him to go out there and ball out right away. But I agree. He doesn't look totally in rhythm yet, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We got someone saying Knox sucks. All right. Kevin Knox sucks. Shooting 40% from three. I'm just kidding. I was messing with you. It's all right. We're all entitled to our own opinions, man. If you think he sucks, that's all you. But I think Kevin Knox has been lights out. He's our best. He's leading the Knicks in three-point shooting, the most 3 points made, and he is like 7th on the team in minutes per game. So I don't know what that tells you. That just means that he's our best shooter. So I don't think he sucks. Will Alec Burks play? He's coming back. He's nearing a return. We don't know yet. Knox is slow, and his best games we'll get out of him is a 20-point game. I mean, man, listen, Kevin Knox's potential for this team is a role player. I'm not expecting to become our starting wing player for the future, averaging 25 points per game by any means. I think he's going to be a part of the rotation off the bench that can come off and have a spark, hit a bunch of threes. He has a really fluid jump shot. He has a really nice arc to it, and I think he has good potential, man. I do. Frank and Knox are future role players for the chip. I agree. Knox is killing it from the corner threes. Facts, man. He's lights out. Whenever he shoots the ball in the corner, it feels like it's going in every time. Knox doesn't suck. For the people saying he does, clearly does not understand his game. He isn't Kevin Durant. He isn't Brandon Ingram. But he is for sure a solid bench player. His handle is getting better. Thank you. This is exactly what I'm saying. But we'll see. What do you think of if we trade Randall for Pascal Siakam? I don't know, man. I like what Julius Randle's doing. I wouldn't mess around with the culture. Julius Randle is playing his best basketball right now for the Knicks. I wouldn't trade him unless we start to really suck. I don't know. That's my take on it. Unless we're like at the trade deadline and the Knicks are not making the playoffs and Randle starts playing poorly, then you trade him. But I wouldn't do this. Out of all the players in the Knicks, I feel bad for Dennis Smith Jr. the most. Came in with so much pressure on his shoulders, and it got to him. Fans booed him, mom died, and Knicks fans hate him. Hope he leaves. Yeah, man, I feel bad for him, bro. He's not there mentally. You can tell he's just not really good. He's just not there mentally. That's what it comes down to. And I'm rooting for Dennis Smith. I loved him out of the draft. I wanted the Knicks to draft him, to be honest. But hopefully he's all good, man, because mental health is serious. Tom Thibodeau was a great hire, for sure. That's the reason why we're 7-8. If we kept Fizdale, we're not 7-8. Tell you guys that much. Randall's carrying. Yeah, low-key. Julius Randle deserves so much props. He is putting his team on his back. He's definitely the best player on the Knicks by far. He's been the most consistent player for the Knicks, averaging over 20+, 10+ rebounds, 5+ assists. He's playing like an MVP. I wouldn't say MVP. He's playing like an all-star, definitely. He should be in the all-star conversation. He's putting up more numbers than Anthony Davis. If you put him next to a bunch of superstars around the league, he's playing just as good, if not better. So he deserves to get an all-star appearance if he keeps this up. Quickley is so fun to watch. Emmanuel Quickley is something special, guys. Emmanuel Quickley is balling out. His floater game is ridiculous. His playmaking is amazing. His jump shot beyond the arc is very efficient. So this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning of Immanuel Quickley. He's getting his feet wet. He's still a rookie. His potential is not even, we haven't even seen it yet. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. We don't need to trade for anyone. Work with what you got. Grow your own. We bring in a big money free agent, and it's going to hurt the young players. Facts. Kelvin knows it best. Listen to Kelvin, everybody. This is what I'm saying. For everybody that wants to go the shortcut route, the same way that we've been doing the past couple of years, and it's not worked out, this is not a time for us to trade our young talent for a player. We're not a player away from the championship. We need to grow within our own organization and let the young guys build a chemistry together. That's how these really good organizations happen. You know, you see what the Brooklyn Nets are doing right now. They positioned themselves to get Kevin Durant and James Harden because they had a culture brewing with their young core. They went to the playoffs with their young core. And then that young core flipped into that. We don't have a young core established yet. So you don't trade it yet. Establish a young core. Then you could trade for guys or sign people and bring in superstars. You don't want to cut corners because that will set back this franchise for years. This is not the year, in my opinion, to package everybody for a star. That's how I look at it. But if they do that, then we'll see. Do you think the Knicks' goal is what the Nets did, basically get a culture and show they could win and then sign big stars? Yeah, man, I think that should be the Knicks' mindset. I think that we should try to win with what we have right now, and that's going to show the rest of the league. All right, the Knicks are an upcoming team. They have a young core in place. They understand that they're a young team that's growing together, and they're a star away from winning. Stars around the league, especially the New York Knicks. Like, this isn't just a random team like the Orlando Magic or the Suns or like just not a really big market team. This is the New York Knicks. If the Knicks are good and we don't have a bona fide star, even though Julius Randle's playing like one, then free agents around the league or some disgruntled stars that want to leave their own teams, they're going to look at the Knicks and say, listen, I want to go win with them because if you win in New York, you're a hero, you're a king, you're God, you're everything for Knicks fans. As we know, we're very passionate. This is something we have to talk about, actually. Rivers did disappear. This is pretty, I don't know how or what's going on with him, but ever since that Utah Jazz game when he scored 14 straight points and it was the craziest thing I've ever witnessed, he's been like not making any shots. I'm not concerned thinking he's going to be bad for the rest of the year, but it's definitely something to talk about. Austin Rivers is not shooting the ball at all well. I don't think he's hit a three, and he's like 1 for his last 10 or so threes, but I think he'll be okay. I think he's going to get into his rhythm. He has that mindset to push through it. He's our leader. So, he'll be good, man. He'll be good. Let's see. I'm trying to see. I expected this from Rivers. He gets $3 million a year for a reason. He isn't consistent. That's why he always comes off the bench. Yeah, man. I mean, if Austin Rivers can come off the bench and give us a crazy game like he did against the Jazz here and there, I'm okay with that, especially at $3 million per year. You are completely right. Nick should start Emmanuel. Yes, he should. Yes, they should. I wish they would, but they're not. I think Peyton is a guy that just has a good game every 5 games to the point where it saves his job. So I don't see it happening. Do you think the Knicks should trade for Zach LaVine? No. I'm telling you guys, I'm somebody, I might not be the majority, but I'm not somebody that thinks that we should package our entire team to trade for a star yet. We're not there yet. We should not do that. We need to keep our capital, keep our players, build within, and then let the guys come in free agency, or then we trade for somebody. Let's win with what we have now before we trade for a guy like Zach LaVine, who's going to take a lot of our players away. So I wouldn't do it. That's me personally. Jets trade for Deshaun Watson. I wish, man. Check out my Jets Media channel if you want to hear my take on that. Hey, Richie. What up, Dylan? Welcome into the stream, brother. If we can get a free agent in free agency, then we grab him. But we don't need to mortgage the franchise to bring in some new guys who are upset with their current situation. Thank you, Kelvin. Me and Kelvin aligned our mindsets. We're on the same wavelength. We understand what we want. I'm loving it. trying to get your guys' questions. But let's talk about, what do you guys want to talk about, man? Honestly, if Kev had the minutes his first and sophomore season, he'll easily average 17 points per game and 10. His development, yeah, I agree, man. He did not get the minutes he deserved this year or even last year. But the role that he's playing right now off the bench, I like that he's always ready. I like that he's shooting extremely efficient, over 40%. You can't ask for somebody like that more than shooting 40% from the three-point line. Am I right? Yeah, Kevin Knox averaged 29 minutes per game his rookie year. He did, man. He did. He was like the guy his rookie season. David Fizdale put him at that. What happened there? I just glitched out. You guys still hear me good fine? Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah, man. So I just want to go live real quick with you guys. If you guys want to talk real quick for about something, let me know. I'm pumped that the Knicks are on a 2-game win streak. We got a West Coast trip coming up next. RJ Barrett has finally found his groove. He's getting into a rhythm. Look at these stats right here. I kept it up throughout the entire stream to remind everybody that he'll be fine and he's not going to be a bust. Please stop writing. Please stop hating on our own talent. I mean, some like players on the Knicks probably like look at the Knicks fans and just roasting them apart. Like, we need to be behind our guys. If RJ's struggling, or Obi Toppin starts struggling, or Quickley, or one of our young guys starts struggling, we need to be behind his back and supporting him instead of just bringing him down to the darkness. We can't just be like, oh, you suck. You're terrible. Get off my squad. No, we have to do the opposite. It's all right, RJ. It's all right, Obi. You'll be good. Just keep going. Like, you need to have that mindset to like be supportive of our guys rather than just like punching them in the face. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions. Am I right? But yeah, I'm going to end the stream here. I want to go live for a quick 45 minutes and talk about the Knicks on a quick 2-game win streak. Hopefully we can go win 2 of the next 4 games on the road. Stay tuned for more Knicks content here. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the stream. That does it for today's stream. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And again, stay tuned for more content. I'll catch you guys in my next live stream. Peace out, everybody. Knicks Media is